On this episode of the Best of Bias podcast, you got yours truly on a Saturday edition of the Best of Bias podcast. You know what it is. It's your boy back in the building. Whoa, why is that so loud? That should never be that loud. I'm sorry. Yeah, my headphones was kind of messed up. I had to fix that real quick because we out here doing some weird shit. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good. So on this episode of the Best of Bias podcast, we got your boy just chopping it up with you for a little bit. I hope everybody had a nice Valentine's Day. We'll talk all about that. We'll talk about some stuff that's coming up in pop culture, maybe some cinema corner. You know, you never know what you're going to get on a Saturday edition of the Best of Bias podcast, but just know it's going to be something lovely. I tell you what, you know what I'm saying? Let's just get right to it. It's the Best of Bias podcast with that theme song. And you can tell I haven't shaven this week, but you know, coming soon. New look coming soon to y'all. But anyways, Best of Bias podcast, new episode, aka you know what to do. Drop that thing on them. Come out.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to unite us. It's the best of bias. The best of bias. Yeah, it's the best of bias.
What up? It's your boy, Lydell Dinero, and welcome to another week of your favorite podcast. Excuse me, I got a little tongue-tied. I got a little excited, man. I got a little excited to speak to y'all this week. Got my bucket hat on, get you one. I got my Norway hat, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, Anaya, if I pronounced it wrong, but today we wearing some Norway. Get you some, Norway.com, if I'm not mistaken, is where you can get some merch, you know what I'm saying? I always got to represent. You know what I'm saying? Representing the Black-owned brands, the family brands, you know what I'm saying? Get you some beautiful struggle, get you some Best of Bias merch as well. But welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a good Saturday. It's time for another episode of the Best of Bias podcast, episode 197, you feel me? We're getting up there. You know what I mean? I'm still waiting for you to join the pod. You know who you are. You know what I'm saying? You got to get on before we get to 200. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is welcome. People have been hitting me up trying to get on, but I'm here weekly, man. I'm looking for stuff to do, looking for people to talk to on the pod, looking for people to introduce to the family. So get with it. You know what I'm saying? We're here since 2019. For all the old listeners, all the family members, like to call them, know we've been doing this since 2019. For all the new listeners, welcome. Best of Bias podcast. We talk about everything. If you came for a super niche podcast, sorry, it's just not that podcast for you. We talk about everything. We don't leave nobody out. Everything is inclusive. We want everybody to bring their bias to the table, and we're gonna talk about it all. So that's why you call this podcast the Best of Bias, starring yours truly, Lydell Dinero. On the video, thank you, aka. I should probably thank him a little more before the video starts, because without him, you wouldn't be seeing my pretty face today, my unshaven face today. You would only have the audio version, even though that's great. But it's not as exciting as seeing your boy every week and seeing the surroundings and seeing what I'm going through. Sorry, it's a little messy this week. I'm in the middle of a little transition. I'm getting ready to go somewhere soon, so I'm trying to, move some stuff around, getting some new pops, so I'm moving some stuff around. So don't mind the background. I know y'all love everything that's going on. It'll probably distract y'all from what's going on right here. You feel me? But we're gonna get on track. Today, let's get right into it. We're gonna start off by wishing everybody a happy Valentine's Day. Again, this is episode 197. If you guys been rocking with us for the whole 197, I'm always trying to spread love. Valentine's Day, some kind of are over it. As far as couples go, you've been with your couple, your significant other for so long now. Valentine's Day is just another day. You appreciate your significant other every day. So this one day of the year, shouldn't be super, I want to say, materialized and glorified to get people to spend money they don't have. You know what I'm saying? After the first couple of years, I still think it's good to show appreciation, send the text, say it in person, of course, let the person know you care about them. But as far as the extravagant gifts, I mean, after a certain point, you should be in love with somebody for more than the material things that you receive on a day that people just go out there and post on Instagram. Look what I got, just to show up the other couples, to make the other couple feel bad, to show everybody what you got, show everybody how much your boo love you. You know what I mean? it is what it is. And I can't hate because I like Valentine's Day. I like to spoil my girl as well, like get her some stuff, make her feel good. Because throughout the year, she's working so hard to maintain herself, to maintain her status and keep her peace of mind correct. Sometimes she doesn't really get to spend money on herself. So, I like to show love and get her a little something and let her know that I care and I'm there for her, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like sometimes, especially early in relationships, it can get blown out of proportion. If you don't get the diamonds, if you don't get the expensive gift, you don't love the girl, or you're not making a good impression on what your future could be with this woman or man, whomever you choose to date. You know what I mean? So I kind of have mixed feelings, but whatever you did on Valentine's Day, I hope it was incredible. Hope somebody spoiled you and just let you know how much you're appreciated, you're loved. Hopefully, you're able to spend a special day, special weekend, special however long it was with your significant other to show each other that that you care about each other because it's important. Love is important, even if it's not loving somebody else. Everybody's not fortunate enough to have a significant other. But you know what I'm saying? Loving yourself, having a good peace of mind, having good, self-esteem and inner being is also good. That's also something that should be promoted on Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? Less of trying to buy the most expensive gift, less of wanting to receive gifts. Like this, let's encourage receiving love and motivation and encouragement and things like that. You know what I mean? You don't have to have a girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other to receive or give love. You know what I'm saying? Reach out to your friends. Let them know that you care about them. You know what I'm saying? Reach out and get somebody that one of your close friends, a little something, some candy, a card. Let them know, like give them an e-card. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. A little email, let them know that you're caring because that can go a long way. And I really do want to promote that because it could promote Valentine's Day and the whole, monetary values of it. Sometimes I'm at a loss for words of what I'm trying to say about it. Call it. Just the outlook of it sometimes can bring on depression as well because everybody ain't got it like that. They feel like holiday season is kind of dreadful because when it comes around, if you don't have enough money to afford to get people gifts, it's like the person's not gonna love me. I'm not gonna find someone type shit. I miss those days back in elementary school when Valentine's Day was about the candy and just finding somebody to just have a crush on. You know what I mean? Nowadays, I know, especially when you get older in life, it's harder to find somebody, especially after COVID. Social interaction has gotten really weird. So it's hard to break that ice and break those walls down to actually find somebody. And what on Valentine's Day and in the holidays, you're supposed to sit there and just be depressed and alone. Nah, man. I feel like we should all support and encourage self-love. You know what I mean? I don't mean masturbation necessarily, you know what I'm saying? I mean deeper than that. You know what I'm saying? Treat yourself to meditation, treat yourself to something good. You've been working hard, either whether it's at a job or just to keep your sanity. The world is crazy nowadays and it's hard work. So though you may not have had somebody to give a chocolate heart to on Valentine's Day, give that shit to yourself and big up yourself because be proud of yourself for making it this far because a lot of people haven't. And just don't give up because there's somebody out there for everybody. How's that saying go? There's somebody out there for everybody. And I really do believe that. If you look around the world, you see all these people in relationships. You're like, how this person be in a relationship? How this person get in a relationship? But they found somebody that loves them for them. There's somebody for everybody. You know what I mean? So again, even if you didn't have the best Valentine's Day this year, there's always encouragement for next year. Even if you were fighting with your girl, your man on Valentine's Day, you know what I'm saying? Use February 15th and 16th also to show that you love them, that you care about them. And don't hold all the value in Valentine's Day and in the holidays. You know what I'm saying? It shows more that you can prove that you care about the person and show that you care about the person on these non-blown up holidays that are used for clout and to not only promote good relationships, but it also can tear down good relationships. So whatever happened on your Valentine's Day, again, we're on February 16th is when I'm recording this today. And hopefully, you felt loved on in some kind of way. And I hope the rest of the year is just as phenomenal as your February 14th and the start of the year. We're all about elevation and love here. You know what I'm saying? We want everybody to get their best foot forward. Ain't no hating shit over here. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people out here promoting that negativity when it comes to these spaces and this media, man. I'm tired of seeing the hate. Let's promote the love. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it together to the Best of Bias podcast so we can learn a little something about each other and just grow as a people. You feel me? But I hope you guys did have a great Valentine's Day. But a little bit before Valentine's Day, we did have that Super Bowl. I recorded the last podcast during the Super Bowl and gave my predictions on the game and stuff. So now I'm gonna talk a little bit about how it turned out. You feel me? Because at first, man, I was like a little disappointed because not only was the commercials that were the $3 million commercials that they're supposed to put on during the Super Bowl to keep you interested in watching commercials were all pretty lame. I don't really remember much about the commercials at all, besides seeing Tom Brady like 3 times, Paramount commercial, Dunkin' Donuts commercial, and in another commercial. But that's all I really remember. Nothing really funny, nothing really standout-ish. I'll talk a little about the trailers, some of the trailers that stood out to me a little bit later when I get to Cinema Corner. But I don't know. I think it was lacking in that aspect. And then also, uh, me personally, I don't know. Maybe just because the Buccaneers went in this year. Maybe last year I paid a little more attention. But the media leading up to the Super Bowl, I feel like was quieted by something. Like there wasn't much coverage. Like you heard about the stuff that was going on, but it wasn't put in the forefront like we always had. Like when the Patriots last year, even like we saw a lot of the stuff. I feel like a lot of the NFL coverage for the Super Bowl week was on NFL Network and not really on the main channels, and didn't really give us the insight that we necessarily wanted. The Super Bowl itself, the atmosphere looked crazy. Somebody climbed the sphere and like caused 200,000 worth of damage just climbing up of it. People just acting stupid. No matter where the Super Bowl is, you will have that. But Vegas, I'm sure it was a turn up. Going into the game, I have a lot of being out here in the Bay Area. I have a lot of friends and family members, co-workers that are all 49ers fans expecting the 49ers to bang bang all over the Chiefs. But spoiler alert, they didn't win the game. And me personally, I was not enjoying the game up until halftime and a little bit past the third quarter. It just was really boring. A lot of field goals. It was a defensive game. Chiefs weren't really moving the ball down the field. It took like a muffed punt by one of the 49ers players to be able, or actually wasn't even a muff punt necessarily. The ball hit one of the blockers in the ankle, and the receiver of the punt just had to try to grab the ball before the Chiefs were able to pick it up and just scoop and score. But he tried to grab the ball and wasn't able to, and the Chiefs got the ball anyways, ultimately. So yeah, it was kind of like a boring game up until kind of like the end of the third, fourth quarter. We saw a bunch of plays being made. Patrick Mahomes kind of came alive because we saw, I think it was like 10-0 going into the second quarter. I think the Chiefs kicked a field goal to make it 10-7 or 10-3. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think the 49ers scored again to make it 17-3. Or was it 10-3 going into halftime? I think it was 10-3 going into halftime. I don't know. Ultimately, man, the 49ers didn't make enough plays. After Dre Greenlaw got hurt, tearing his Achilles, getting excited for the second quarter. Patrick Mahomes, I don't even want to say they were able to make big plays, but they're able to get those chunk plays that allowed them to move the ball down the field and make the plays at certain times that they needed to make. I don't know. It was a lot of stuff that the 49ers were doing decision-wise that kind of caused them to lose the game, I would say. From kicking field goals when they should have, went for a touchdown, or necessarily just, I forgot exactly what it was. No. Yeah. They kicked the field goal instead of going for it, which gave the Chiefs a chance to go down and tie the game with a field goal. Patrick Mahomes gets down there, ties the game, and sends them into overtime. It was just looking ugly. I think, the first mistake the 49ers made were taking the ball first in overtime. And this was the first time that I guess we were seeing the newly implemented playoff rules for overtime, which each team gets a possession because of the Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen game, when Josh Allen wasn't able to respond after a touchdown scored by Patrick Mahomes. The 49ers still chose to take the ball first and try to score first and try to put the ball in the end zone. I guess the thought process of it was the defense was just on the field after Mahomes scored or tied the game. So Kyle Shanahan didn't want to put the defense back on the field to be susceptible to Patrick Mahomes in that offense. But ultimately, it was worse for him because they didn't score at all going down the field. Actually, did they score? I don't remember exactly what happened. It was 22 to, oh yeah, they did score. They kicked the field goal. The 49ers kicked the field goal to make it 22-19, I believe. Yeah, that's how it was. It was 19-19 going into, sorry about this, guys. 19-19 going into overtime. 49ers got the ball first, kick a field goal on their drive to make it 22-19, which again was another mistake. You don't kick the field goal. If anything, you try to score and make Mahomes go down the field and score to win, because if you only go up by 3, Mahomes is going to go down there and score. And that's exactly what he did. He marched all the way down the field using his legs, which was always the most awkward thing, because one of the announcers said, or somebody said, he runs like he got his shoes tied together. Because Mahomes, I don't understand. They never try to hit that man. He'd be scrambling for a whole bunch of yards and don't get down for hella late. People have wide open shots on him and don't take it. I don't know what it is with Mahomes, but he always gets by. He was able to get them all the way down the field. I thought that they were just going to kick a field goal or use a timeout at least, and then try to draw up a play to score. But no, the last play, let the clock tick, 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 tick. In the last 3 seconds, McCole Hardman was able to catch a touchdown pass from Patrick Mahomes in the corner of the end zone. And they were able to win the game 25-22, I believe was the final score, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see here. 25-22. Yeah, 22-25, and the Chiefs won their second consecutive Super Bowl, man. It was sad because me personally, it was too good to be true. The 49ers were up big, not really big, 10-0 in the first quarter, just because the last couple of games in the playoffs for the 49ers, they started down and they actually worked their way back to win the game. So when they were kind of handily winning at the beginning of the game, I thought it was a little bit of a little backwards kind of thing for them. So I thought it was too good to be true. And it's what happened last time they played the Chiefs in the playoffs as well with Jimmy Garoppolo. They weren't able to make enough plays to hold down Patrick Mahomes, but in this one, they just went a little different. Just adds to the Mahomes legacy. He won 3 out of 5 Super Bowls. He probably would have been to the Super Bowl 6 times in a row if it wasn't for Joe Burrow, and he may have won 6 Super Bowls in a row if it wasn't for Joe Burrow and Tom Brady. So it's been a crazy trajectory for Patrick Mahomes, a crazy trajectory for Travis Kelce as them two got together. Just imagine if they held on to Tyreek Hill, they'd probably be super unstoppable. Taylor Swift just adding so much attention to the Kansas City Chiefs. They're probably just eating right now. Prayers out to the families, though. At the parade the other day, there was a shooting, took somebody's life, 15 were injured, and there were juveniles, young people that were actually shooting at the parade. That's very, 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 very sad. Especially because of all these added eyes, again, because of the Taylor Swift situation. Nobody's gone back-to-back in 20 years as far as the Super Bowl champions go. So this was a big opportunity for the city. There hasn't been any kind of catastrophes or anything at the parades at all last couple of years. So to see something tragic like this happen just goes to show that something, regulations are going to happen during the next parade, and people are going to be, there's a presence of like 500 cops, and shit still went down with some kids. So it was interesting. The legacy of Kyle Shanahan, I don't know what's going to happen with that, man. He just can't get it done. 49ers 5-3 in the Super Bowls. I think they won like 5 undefeated 5 Super Bowls back in the 90s and 80s, but ever since 1995, I believe, or 1994, the 49ers haven't won a Super Bowl after going to the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl like a combined 8 times, I believe. So I don't know what it is with him, man. I don't know if it's like just bad luck. I don't know if it's Kyle Shanahan. I don't know if it's just the organization not gonna be able to get over the hump. But it's interesting. As far as halftime goes, though, Usher shut it down, man. I think he did a great job. A lot of people are kind of indifferent about it just because he didn't really get to play a lot of the songs, or he didn't play a lot of the songs or do justice to a lot of his hits that he did play. My Way, he came out, didn't really sing any of it. It just had My Way, like the chant, and then went right on. You don't have to call. You don't call? I'm like, our brother. Caught Up was the second song. Caught Up was the second song. He did a lot of the favorites. It just seems like the songs that he just chose to cut short were just some of the best ones. Like Nice and Slow. All he did was a 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in my drop top. Just because of the popular kind of viral thing where people are going around asking people what Usher did at 7 o'clock on the dot. You know what I mean? And then Superstar, he didn't even hit the note for real. Like, he didn't even give it justice that way. He just did, again, the viral TikTok challenge, just stopped after the note and didn't really hit the note like he was supposed to. Bad Girl was the most egregious, if you ask me. This man didn't even sing it. He had the song playing, didn't even perform it. What else? I like the song with will.i.am he did. The roller skates were a little much. We've seen him do the roller skates a million times. He didn't have to do it in the Super Bowl because it looked a little awkward skating between will.i.am's legs. Jermaine Dupri out there was cool to see. Ludacris in his fro was cool to see, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Yeah, it's a really big song, so I understand why they did that. Alicia Keys, it was a little rough, but it's good seeing her out there. The piano and her dress was tight, but her notes weren't really that tight. You need to be a little more tightened up. But Usher, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing, helped her out a little bit with the duet, and he got all up on her. People are trying to holla at Swiss Beats because of what he's doing out there, y'all up on people's girls. You know, Usher being Usher, man, trying to be home wrecker. But it was cool, man. I liked it a lot. One of my more memorable Super Bowls, because I knew every song. You know what I'm saying? Usher was a big part of my life personally. Growing up, all of his songs were, you know, not all of them, but a lot of his songs were hits. His hits go on for days. And I thought that was really dope. I liked it personally better than last year's Super Bowl performance because they tried to put 17 people in one show and they all did like 5 seconds of songs. But this one I liked it, even though the medley was a little short. It did motivate me to want to see him in Vegas at the residency or wherever he is coming on tour. Shouts out to him. Usher's on fire right now, and he deserves all the accolades. One of our goats, one of our people that had one of the longest careers of all time. One of the older generation artists that were able to stay relevant and cross over and stay relevant with the younger artists as well, and keep doing his thing. You know what I mean? And you know, you saw him win a ring with LeBron and Cleveland Cavaliers, so you know he's kind of diversifying his portfolio on that aspect. So it's good to see, you know, one of our goats out here eating, man. So big ups to him. Next year the Super Bowl's in New Orleans, so could we see Lil Wayne, Drake, and Nicki Minaj do a Young Money presents type of Super Bowl in New Orleans? It's only right, and that'll definitely be my automatic favorite Super Bowl, no matter how they perform. It's just still probably gonna be my favorite just for my own bias, and that's what this podcast is about, right? Hell yeah. But yeah, big up to the Super Bowl. Sorry, 49ers, that you didn't win that thing. Because I know y'all was super confident. But the Chiefs, man, back-to-back champions, first time in 20 years, first Black quarterback to go back-to-back. So congratulations to that. I have to mention that on Black History Month for sure. And yeah, let's move into some NBA. Not much about the NBA. We're in All-Star break right now. The All-Star games are going right now. I think Team Shay Shay and 50 Cent just won the celebrity game, so big ups to them. I think Micah Parsons won MVP. That boy was trying. That big old boy. He was out there running into people, running them over, trying to get the ball hogging. But I feel it, you know what I'm saying? Young dude he ain't out there trying to look cool. He's trying to win, you know what I'm saying? Because he probably won't win on the Cowboys. Ooh, burn. That was kind of cool. I ain't really done that before, but I did it. Sick burn right there. But yeah, NBA check-in, man. I'm just gonna talk to y'all about the Nuggets right now. We're stumbling into All-Star break. Injuries to KCP, hamstring, and Jamal Murray, a tibia injury. His shin is messed up right now. Sore. Our bench is out of sorts again. We're so off and on with that bench, man. You heard me say that they were coming together, and I feel like we had what it takes to replace Jeff Green and Bruce Brown and just make noise in the playoffs. I still think that's true, but right now it's not looking good. If Jokic isn't playing, if Jokic isn't putting up all the points and just playing extraordinary, our team isn't really going to win games, and that's not good to see right now, especially with Jamal Murray being in and out of the lineup all year. Him not making All-Stars, him not really, I don't think he's averaging over 20 right now. I think he's averaging like 18, 19 points. So I just feel like in order for us to win the championship, we have to have him and Jokic healthy 100%. And just the fact that we don't ever know when Jamal Murray's going to be fully healthy, it's just kind of scary to see, because when he's out and MPJ and Aaron Gordon are the only people to rely on, it's kind of ugly. KCP is not even super reliable all the time. We need the collection of the consistency of Jokic and Jamal to be able to give us 20, 30 a game, and just one or two or the other players that come along with us. And, you know, the staggering of Jamal and Jokic with the bench unit. We need all that. We can't just do it from what we have. We didn't make no moves at the trade deadline. So it is what it is right now. I'm not going to sit here and super complain about everything that's going on, because I still have faith in the team and in our aspirations and the things that we're going to do. We're proven. We've done it last year. We almost have the same record as we did last year when we won the championship. These other teams are just playing a little bit harder and you know, have a little bit more to prove than we do, because, you know, of course we just won the championship last year. So we're a little bit proven, and we already know what's going on with the playoffs and how that's going to be. The teams up top, man, it's looking like they may end up getting the Warriors and the Lakers. So I don't know if you really want that to be your first round matchup anyways. You want to kind of ease into the first round, but the Lakers and the Warriors are probably going to be in the play-in. The play-in teams, I think, are Lakers, Warriors, the Kings, and the Dallas Mavericks right now. So anybody in that play-in is going to be a tough out. And then after that play-in, it's going to have to play a team that's been, already had it going, and that's going to be a dangerous 8 or 7 seed in the first place. So maybe being 3 and 4 are kind of beneficial. I like the 3 spot because I know the 4 or the 5 spot's going to be somebody a little tough. The Suns, maybe the Clippers, maybe maybe the Pelicans. So I kind of want to be the 3 seed and be able to play the 6 seed. I think that's more our speed, but yeah, I think we kind of just need to get it together right now and just hone in, get this break in, get healthy, have everybody gel together and just make a run just second half of the season. Everybody else is getting it together. Warriors won 6 out of 7. Lakers won like 6-2 in their last 8. So a lot of these teams that are down below are catching up to the teams that are vying for the top spot. So we got to make moves and just stay afloat. This All-Star break couldn't come soon enough because all the teams need breaks. I don't want to be one of the teams that got to play until the last breath of every game to be able to make the playoffs or have a good spot. We want home court advantage and we need to get it done. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That's it for basketball. I'm not gonna talk too much about it because we are in All-Star break, but once after All-Star break is over and we're back to the regular grind, back to the final push for the regular season and in the standings for the regular season, we'll talk a lot more about that, I'm sure. Moving into pop culture, I know I talked last week about the VR goggles and Epic and Disney creating this all-expansive universe that's going to have all the Disney properties, all the Marvel properties, Avatar, all that kind of stuff together, and just make an expansive world for the VR goggles, Apple Vision Pro, Oculus, Quest, all those VR opportunities. Another thing just dropped, I think I talked about a little bit last week, the little trackpad that they give you to go with the goggles to put you really in the world that Epic and Disney are talking about. Yeah, it dropped. I got a little bit more information about it. So they're called HaloTiles. HaloTiles. So it's, if you guys are familiar with those gym mats pretty much that you kind of like puzzle together on the floor, it's kind of like that. The little halo pads or whatever tiles. You can walk on them and you can walk as far as you want, walk as much as you want, but you stay in place. So you know how you have the goggles on and then virtually before you start, they show you a little box you can kind of walk in. You can't go this far or else you'll fall out or run into something, run into your surroundings, hit somebody. Well, this HaloTile situation is able to spell all that confusion, all that worry. You can walk as much as you want, run as much as you want, move as much as you want, but you're not going to leave that same spot in the real world. In the virtual world, you're running all over the place, that's how excited I am, being interactive with everything, but while you're on the pad itself, you're not necessarily going anywhere. You can fit up to 2 people on it. It's so crazy. You can be running together in an immersive world. You can jump together. All the opportunities are endless. That it just makes so much sense, man. They be throwing these little hints at you. That's why you got to pay attention technologically, because they'll give you one thing that's in development, and then when it comes up, they'll slowly push out something else that goes along with it. You're like, oh, wait, what is this for? We don't even have the technology to use it yet. And then something comes out to be like, oh, shit, this is what this is for. Even if it's this year, next year, 2 years down the line, pay attention, because we didn't hear about these goggles. We heard about these goggles being an idea a long time ago. We talked mess about the Google glasses, the one that had the little Dragon Ball Z screen on them. Everybody thought that was crazy. Now we're walking around with big apparatuses on our face. You know what I mean? And now everybody's outside in the real world with these things. Just imagine you could be outside in the world, quote unquote, where everybody actually is. Everybody is interacting, and you could be in your house on a trackpad just and you think, oh, virtual world, oh, you're just trying to make people non-social. They're going to be inside getting all fat and lazy. But this kind of spells that. Just imagine like exercise videos, exercise games, the exercise world. You can have your own exercise classes where everybody's actually there doing the exercises. It could be so immersive. Think about plays, because they said this is also going to be used to make theatrical plays a little bit better, and for filmmaking. You know what I mean? Just imagine you're on the trackpad. Instead of sitting and watching the movie, it's a movie that you can actually walk through. Like, you're watching a movie, but you're walking through the scenes with everybody. You're standing side by side with your favorite character, having a first-person view of how the movie is going. Like just imagine the capabilities of what it can do. As far as a play, just imagine you're at a play, and then the people in the play can walk closer to you. You can follow the people through the scenes in the play. Just imagine where plays can go now. Plays don't necessarily have to stay on stage. Your actors could be walking around on stage, and the stage settings could just change, and you're immersed in the new settings. You can feel the air. You can smell smells. Like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy for people, for grown adults now, to be developing this stuff after telling kids for years that this stuff is stupid, like it's bad for you. And then for the leaders in technology now to be spending a lot of money and developing this stuff is crazy. Shout out to the man that created these HaloTiles. His name is, I thought it was Sam. I wrote it down. Freaking, I forgot his name. Sandy something. I have to get back to you guys, but he is leading in the development and the creation of it. So yeah, he's doing his thing, and I cannot wait to report back to you guys on that. I plan to get my Quest soon. I can't get the Apple Vision goggles. I'm sorry. I wish I could get those and just report back to you guys on those. But I'm gonna start with the Quest, and by the time these pads come out, I might preview one of those too and let y'all know what's going on. Because once Epic and Fortnite and Disney drop whatever they're gonna drop, I might go back to playing, man. I might go back. What if they have you sit there actually build shit instead of just pushing buttons to build? Just actually have to build shit, and you're actually throwing stuff. There's so many capabilities. Think of like the Wii on steroids. You know how the Wii was interactive with the controllers and stuff, and things you do actually happen. That with goggles that put you in there, that you actually think you're there. I'm getting excited, but I'll report back on that as I move on a little bit. We got to talk about Vultures, because that finally dropped. I know I told you guys that I didn't believe it was ever going to come out. Sorry, as I get this ready right here. I didn't believe it was ever going to come out. I thought it was a myth. I was like, all right, I believe it when I see it, because he fooled us a couple of times, pushed it back a couple of times for who knows what reasons. It's got taken down a couple of times, but it was received really well when it did come out. I'm not gonna lie. It's called Vultures 1. I don't know how many versions he's actually gonna put out of this album, but I think it's genius, man. He can just put out a sample of songs that he had. Him and Ty Dolla $ign were cooking up. I keep calling it the Ty Dolla or the Kanye album when it's Ty Dolla $ign and Kanye. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Ty Dolla has a lot of hands in producing and ideas and song making as well. So I still want to give my guy credit too, because I'm a big Ty Dolla $ign fan. I don't want to shade him in any kind of way. But the album was dope. The first run of it, personally, the production's always going to be crazy when you got Kanye and Ty Dolla $ign's working together. The harmonies have been crazy. The people, the artists that they're able to reach out to that are willing to be on the project are the cream of the crop. I mean, I know he's very, very, very controversial, and I'm not one that agrees with anything that he really says outside of, the music. Me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of, like, I don't know the last time I've actually really enjoyed Kanye's rapping, but his producing and his ability to be able to assemble artists and make them sound good on a track, and just the things he's able to do as far as promotion. Even though sometimes his fashion choices are a little wild, the way he promotes his fashion, the way he's actually a trendsetter, it is, as far as fashion goes, it's kind of impressive to me. It's really impressive. I don't know how it works, because, I mean, again, people don't really, I don't know if they really fuck with Kanye the person, because he's so sporadic and he's so quick to say shit that hurts so many different people. If it's not his own people talking about slavery as a choice and all this kind of crazy shit that he's been saying then, or the Jewish community, he's saying stuff about them too. It's like, none of that stuff to me, I think is really commendable, something that people should look up to at all. So I don't want to get misconstrued and say that part of Kanye is something that I think is genius. You know what I mean? In no shape or form. But I can't separate what he does producing wise. Some people say without a sample, he's not much, but I think he it sounds different when Kanye produces the track, produces the album and puts it out compared to your favorite artist puts out an album with a produced track by a nobody. You know what I'm saying? He puts a little more quality into his songs. Again, his lyrics may not always be the best, and sometimes the song could be a little wild and crazy. But as somebody who used to do music, somebody that appreciates music to its fullest, you can hear the instrumentation, you can hear the professionalism, you can hear the expertise in everything he does. Musically, and you can tell that he reaches out to the right people to help him, and he has no shame in doing so. I don't want to say there's no ego in it, because I feel like there's definitely a bunch of ego in it all the time when you're dealing with Kanye West. But I feel like I like the fact that he's able to and willing to collaborate with people on stuff, and and always, I wouldn't say, again, I would say it's always for the people when it comes to the music, because he always pushes music back and makes us wait for it. But when he does give it, I feel like he gives us projects that we enjoy. He gives it to us in a way that's different. In the marketing of the album is always wild. That's why it's kind of like the shit that he says on the offside. We don't know if he's really meaning it or it's promotion or rollout for albums or projects or shit that he has going. But either way, it doesn't make sense and it's wrong. A lot of the shit that he's saying is hurtful. Though some stuff may not be hurtful to everybody, it's hurtful to somebody. And for somebody to be so big and publicly influential to say things that hurts anybody, especially a big group of people, it should be taken into consideration and shouldn't be approached as these people are tripping, I can say what I want type of shit, and just go upon it with braggadocio, because he is complaining now about the album being taken off Spotify and Apple Music. They are playing with them in that aspect. I downloaded the album, tried to go back to it one day, and the whole thing was gone. And then I downloaded it again, and then my favorite songs were gone. The 3 songs I like the most on the album are Do It, Carnival, and Fuck Some. I went back and Fuck Some was gone. I was like, I can't have this whole album and not have my favorite song on the album. So I went back and deleted or added it again, and the whole album is on there again. So he's complaining about that. Complaining about him not being able to eat at certain restaurants, complaining about him being kicked out of the Super Bowl, and just him being isolated for certain places. Some say it's freedom of speech, and he would say like he has the freedom to say what he wants and think what he wants, and he has, but there is consequences to his actions. People that own places could be people of religion or people of elk that you have disrespected, and they don't want you in their areas. They don't want you by them just because of the stuff you're spewing. A lot of songs in the album, that's why he put out Vulture 1, may have been may have contained samples from artists that don't believe in some of the stuff that he was saying, and because of the stuff he was saying, were completely turned off from him in general. So they don't want him sampling any of their music, and if there was those songs on there, they're going to take legal action to get those songs off. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on. There's probably a lot of songs that he was sitting on that could have been on Vulture that have to be on Vulture 2 or 3 just because he couldn't get clearances and stuff like that. So there's a lot that goes into it, but I'm happy for him as far as he's able to get the music to the people, and the people are able to like the music and get something that, moves them, gets them happy. Music to me makes people happy, and I'm always happy when people are excited by music. Though people's favorite artists can differ, I feel like I still like the way that the music affects the people. Sometimes I don't like the negativity it brings, but the positive side of music and I know how it makes me feel when I listen to music that I like. So I love the fact that people can feel the same way, or if not even feel more passionate about it when they hear the good music. So I'm happy Kanye's able, him and Ty Dolla $ign, I'm sorry that he has to be kind of one etched out when we're talking about the album, calling it a Kanye West album, and then at the same time get the scrutiny of all the shit that he's saying and the album being blackballed the way it is, and him actually being attached to that now, just because he's riding with Kanye and making the album with him. It's a little messed up, but it's a good album. You guys should go check it out. Big ups to him, and big ups to Ty Dolla $ign. Hopefully they can get it all figured out and go on tour with it. But man, Kanye, it's gonna take a lot of fixing. I don't think if anybody, like, some people may never forgive you, but man, we like the music. Of course, the youngins and the people, you're very motivational, or not motivational, inspirational when it comes to fashion. People like the fashion a lot too. So stick to the positive stuff. Stay away from the negative shenanigans that try to be shocky, try to be shock jockey, try to promote, try to roll out stuff. And I think it'll be more of a positive outlook than it is now, man. I'm not famous. I'm not in the professional world as far as being a celebrity. So I don't know how hard it is for him not to, just speak freely and just have everything he said misconstrued. I don't know how it is for that at all. But I don't know. I feel like he's going overboard, and I think people are always looking for reasons to bring him back and accept him and let him back into their lives, man. Just before you use all those up, Kanye, you gotta do something, man. But go get the album if you like Kanye. You support Kanye. If you don't, I understand. He has been doing a lot of shit, but I support the Super Bowl commercial though. He was like, man, I spent all my money on the commercial, so the content ain't gonna be good. I'm dropping some shoes, all $20. Nobody wants those Yeezy pods, and a lot of the clothes he was putting out look kind of weird too. Look kind of like culty. I don't know about all that, but I like his marketing, man. I'm a marketing guy. Marketing is my major, and I can respect it, man. I can really respect what he's doing. But as far as marketing goes, but the shit that he's saying, making his wife be naked all the time, it's a little wild. A little wild, but man, God bless everybody, man. God bless everybody. Next, the challenge, man. I don't know if you guys are watching the MTV's The Challenge. I watched the challenge, so I wanted to shed a little light on this season. It's season 39. This season's called The Battle for a New Champion. We saw a lot of people. If you've been watching, you know what this season was kind of more so about. It's about everybody that's been on the show pretty much that hasn't won a championship, or people that are from some of the other challenges from different countries who haven't necessarily won a challenge, who are trying to establish themselves on the challenge, because a lot of the times when the regular challenge is around, you know how it is. Everybody's been a champion, been to a final. You have all these accolades from these people from MTV's The Challenge. But when you haven't won anything, you just kind of have nothing to show for it. You're showing up to all these challenges with 0 wins. It's just like, why do you keep coming back? I mean, you keep coming back to try to win, but why does MTV keep inviting you back when you clearly are not good enough to win? That type of shit. So all these people kind of just wanted to show themselves. If you're familiar with the challenge already, you know who Jay is, you know who Michelle is, Mariah, Big T was on here, Melissa, just to name a few people that you probably, Kyland, Horacio came back, Nuries. And then we have a bunch of people that are really from like Argentina, the Survivor Argentina type shit. The Challenge Argentina, the Zazas of the world, Colleen, Bernas, and stuff like that. It was an interesting season. A lot of people again are on the show that people don't know. So they try to get people to watch the show. They brought back, they marketed it as they're gonna bring in the actual challenge veterans that we all know and love from past seasons that go all the way back to the 90s, you know what I mean? But they tricked us, man. This season they had the elimination to where every elimination they had a competitor go against one of the vets. If the vets won, the player was eliminated. If the player won against the vet, he got to stay in the house. He or she got to stay in the house, which was kind of cool. But at the same time, the whole money system was stupid. Each challenge the players won, they made money to bank into a total pot that the winner gets, which is kind of stupid, because if they didn't win a challenge, they voted for somebody to go into elimination. If the person went into elimination, they'll be fighting for money to stay in the group's pot. If the player that went down to the elimination lost, they would lose $10,000 out of the pot for the whole group. And the challenger, which would be Bananas, CT, Tori, Car Maria, Lauren, why am I saying Lauren? Laurel, that's her name. Jordan, all come and try to beat these competitors, and if they win, they take the $10,000. I don't know if they necessarily get the $10,000 themselves, but they take it out of the prize pot for the people. So that was a big thing. But me personally, I didn't like it because, of course, in the challenge, you make these alliances and you try to eliminate people. You try to get them to go against each other to eliminate one another. In this one, the challengers that they put down on the sand don't go against each other. The challenger, the veteran that comes and plays against them, gets to choose by picking a random thing out of sand. Whichever one they get to pick which member they go against that is down in the sand, which doesn't make sense really, because if you want these people to fight it out, one of them's automatically gonna come back. And then at the same time, if you're sending somebody down there, you don't want them to lose, because if they lose, you lose $10,000 for the group. It was just really convoluted, and they try to be too cute. They should just left it how it was. And also, a lot of spoiler alerts going on in this season too, but it's in the finale right now, so there's a lot to talk about, but I'm not going to talk too much about it. But it was also bad in this season. MTV take it from me. It was really bad in this season how you kept having the same people go on elimination over and over. Usually in the regular challenge, you have, okay, somebody goes down in the sand, they get immunity, and they, or they can't get voted for next time. Or they go down in the sand. You have to go down in the sand in order to be able to run the final. That was something good they did too, because they motivated people to want to go in the sand and try to earn their stripes to get to the final. This one, the same people got voted down just based on a popularity vote for people that weren't really people that should be pulling strings. Like Jay and Michelle should never be running a show and trying to be like a Cara Maria, trying to be like a Johnny Bananas. Like they're not vetted like that. They should just play the game regular. They're talking shit to people trying to run the game just because they've been in 2 or 3 seasons. They were the people that were actually targeted by the challenge vets to get put out early in their seasons. So they kind of just reverted to that veteran role and try to like trick all the youngins to get them out, bully some of the other veterans. I was so mad when they bullied Big T out and Melissa out, and then they bullied and tricked Nuries into going against Kylan and Horacio and eliminating them both. Although they did get their comeuppance and were eliminated right before the final, which is the ultimate slap in the face. Now we have a whole bunch of people that are either from another country or we don't really care about that are left in the final. A lot of the people that were used to do all the dirty work for Michelle and Jay and the people that were fighting and taking out all of Nuri's, Highland, and Horacio's alliance are the people that are left in the game, which is kind of weird. It's kind of like kind of bittersweet because they were doing dirty work, but at the same time, they were just kind of trying to survive themselves. But at the same time, it's like these guys are not good people. It's like nobody really deserves to win. It's Emmanuel, Mariah, Nuri's, I guess, deserves to win. I wasn't the biggest fan of Nuri's coming into the season, but since she was kind of getting bullied all season, I kind of, took a little sympathy from her for her. But yeah, who else is left? Mariah, we have Emmanuel, Corey, Colleen, and Berna. Yeah. Yeah. You guys go watch the final. It's out right now. The first half of the final was last week, or this week, actually, Wednesday. So the second half of the final and the finale is next week. So go catch up. I won't spoil what happens and who gets eliminated in the final. Maybe I already did. I don't know. But go watch it now and tell me what you think, man. I used to do all the episodically, used to review the challenge. And I know one of my most viewed videos on YouTube here was one of the challenge review videos with Ashwash, V-Rons, Yancey, and Amber. So yeah, we'll get on that more. This season was just a little dull. Next season, I'm sure they're filming it now because damn, there's like 17 episodes in this season. You can tell something went wrong. I don't know what they were trying to do, but don't do it like this again. We need some, and we need some of the stalwarts from olden days. Get them to come back, give us an all-stars, make West come out of retirement. You gave us a little bit of CT. I see CT out there active now. Maybe he'll come back for all-stars. And I also wanted to shout out Nelson, man. We saw and we heard about Nelson's car accident. KJ Osborne from the Minnesota Vikings. We heard that story on there in NFL First, how he randomly stopped on the side of the road and saved somebody with their car on fire in LA after their car was on fire on the freeway. It ended up being Nelson from the challenge, man. And he had a really bad accident in his leg. His ankle was swollen, so swollen up. He had to get it surgically repaired, and he was trying to work out. Like I recently saw he was working out to get it better, trying to get back on his feet, presumably trying to get back to the challenge. But recently it came out that he actually has to have that foot amputated, and he's not gonna, well, obviously not gonna get the feeling back in it and not be able to get it back to its regular functionality. So they had to go ahead and amputate it. So I just want to send prayers out Nelson's way. Nelly, we haven't always talked the best about Nelson. He's always been the butt of some jokes, but in times of need, man, we always need to send our prayers to our people, man. And this is no joking matter. It can happen to anybody. You know what I mean? These automobile accidents are just so fast, and you're driving in a big piece of metal, and metal is not forgiven to the human body. So drive safe out there, drive slow, even when it's like you feel like you're safe and they're invincible. Man, anything could happen, bro. Again, prayers out to Nelson for sure, for sure. Yeah, that's very, very, very sad. A little bit of cinema corner before we get y'all up out of here. Vince Staples, his show just came out as well. The Vince Staples show on Netflix. Got to shout that out for sure. I loved his promotion that he was doing for it. Just on Instagram, he just walking around. You know who Vince Staples is? Just kind of giving out information and giving out, I think, prize money to people who can guess who Vince Staples is, and if they knew about the show and knew about Vince Staples. It's kind of spreading the word that way because he ain't got no big budget and he just want people to know about the show. The show is amazing, man. It gave a really good feel, man. Vince Staples is one of my favorite artists, just not for his rap, it's just for his outlook and just his business acumen, his understanding of the game and how he can break it down and just spit it out to regular people like us that are outside the game and just kind of just lets us know, man, the rap game is kind of messed up. It's not all about the music, man. You got to be able to diversify and have your foot in different lanes. We saw him in Acura commercials. We saw him on Abbott Elementary getting his act on. And now we see him with his own show. The show is really good. He says these shows are, he starts it off with the misnomer or the precursor that the scenes in the show are completely made up. But it just seems real. That's just coincidental or some shit like that. And you can tell us a lot of stories of stuff that happened in his life, kept it real. And if you listen to his music, you can tell like a lot of this shit probably really did happen. Actors in the show were amazing. Even though, like, even him, he's a good actor. Just everybody around him, just like the guest stars in the show, just regular people, and not even like celebrities or big known actors that are making these appearances. They just have amazing acting skills, and for the scenes that they're in, for the scenes that they're trying to portray, they're just funny. They're just funny. You can tell when somebody gets on camera and they can't really act, you know what I'm saying? And they're just like there because they're somebody's friend or it's somebody famous that they're trying to give a role to, and is just trying to like, you know, just trying to act. But these people, I don't know who they are. I don't know where they found them, but they're really good actors. They're funny. In there's 5 episodes, and each one there's a significant character that he interacts with, and they all were hilarious from episode 1 to 5. So I encourage that. Go watch it, man. I'm all about these music artists getting money where they can, because we already know about the music industry and how they try to fuck people over. You know how they try to be hella greedy and everything music wise. You know, it's gonna siphon through them before you get your money as an artist. So it's good for him to be doing his acting thing, his producing thing, his whatever else he's doing, appearing in commercials. Get that bag where you can, because you know they don't want to give it to you in the music industry. You know, you start off as a rapper to get your feet in the door because you have a skill to give you that opportunity. But once you're there, you know what I'm saying, they have 1,000,001 ways to fuck you out of your money in the music industry. But as an artist, you have 1,000,001 ways to get your bread off that notoriety once you do make it. So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him setting an example. I saw him recently on the Joe Budden podcast, talking about the game and talking about how he moves and talking about money and how he has money in the industry and how he just kind of deals with being a celebrity. And he's really down to earth. You know, some of the stuff he said could be ignorant at times, but I fuck with him, man. I like his way of thinking. I like how down to earth he is, being somebody of high stature. He may not think he's somebody of high stature, but you know what I'm saying? He came a long way from being associated with Odd Future to being the rapper he is, super Long Beach, super himself, you know what I mean? And that's what makes him stand out. So go give it a chance. It's a really cool show. I think it's really funny. I always say a lot of shows give, the last couple of shows I reviewed for you guys, I said give that Atlanta vibes, that Donald Glover vibe. Well, the last 2 shows that I did say were like that were by Donald Glover, but this one itself, it gives those vibes for sure. And I'm really happy for him, man. Go check it out. And then lastly, of course, not second to last, those trailers, man. We're in cinema corner, so I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about some of these trailers that I saw during the Super Bowl. And I'm gonna get cinema corner going for this one, man. Deadpool and Wolverine. Did y'all see it? Did y'all see the trailer during the Super Bowl? Actually, they gave you the teaser trailer during the Super Bowl, and they made you go do your own research for the rest of it. But I loved it, yo. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for Deadpool and Wolverine, man? It looked really dope. I'm not too sure what they're going for, but it's cool what they're giving Ryan Reynolds liberty to do. You know what I mean? It seems like that they're gonna give him a chance to go through a whole bunch of different Avengers and MCU scenes and kind of fix the MCU for the MCU in a way. You know what I'm saying? You saw him in the forest, kind of looks like the Avengers scene. You see a whole bunch of Easter eggs from comic books, kind of alluding to the Secret Wars. We out here, man. I'm really excited to see the Xmen. I'm really excited to see Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. They didn't show him in the trailer on purpose because they're trying to just keep it to our imaginations. We know, and once that scene happens in the movie theater, it's probably going to rival the Captain America Avengers Assemble in Endgame. I'm not even gonna lie, dog. I am not gonna lie. The fact that it's rated R, the fact that Disney lets Ryan Reynolds do whatever he wants to do. They talked about pegging in the trailer. Man, it's gonna be dope. The fact that they're gonna have Colossus in it, the fact that they're probably gonna have a cameo from everybody in the MCU who's ever been in the MCU. So many rumored, just like over 200 rumored cameos. So much film for them to do it with. Again, they gave Ryan Reynolds the liberty to do anything he wanted. They got Hugh Jackman back. If they got Hugh Jackman back, the script has to be incredible. The last couple of I want to say products that Marvel put out weren't really the best. Marvel's Echo. I'm sorry. I had to say it. They weren't that good, but I'm expecting Deadpool to save the MCU. He wants to be MCU Jesus, man. You better walk on that water. You better walk on that water. That's all I gotta say. And I'm gonna stop that for the dual cameras, man. I gave y'all enough on that. But yeah, it looked incredible. It comes out July 26th of this year. So a little towards the end of the year. But I'm ready, man. I am ready. I don't know who we're gonna see. I don't know what we're gonna see. I know that he is responsible for moving the MCU along. I know we're getting a lot of information about the Fantastic Four. I know we're getting a lot of information about X-Men 97, and all this stuff is supposed to be canon. So I'm sorry. I might be nerding y'all out right now, but it's really exciting stuff to me because we thought Phase 5 just fell on its face and we weren't going to get no direction. We hear all these rumors about shit that's happening and nothing really falls through. Everything got pushed back. Projects have been canceled. Directors has quit on projects for the MCU. So this is one of the movies that actually didn't get pushed hella far back. The one that's actually getting made, put out. Hugh Jackman's involved. It's actually called Deadpool and Wolverine and not Deadpool 3. It's just so much shit implied and so much shit going on that I cannot wait to see what happens. And I hope you guys are excited as I am because a rated R MCU canon film that's going to bring everything back. Introduce the X-Men. The bad guy is going to be Professor Xavier's sister that died in the womb. Come on now. Come on now, storylines for days. The introduction of Doctor Doom probably in Secret Wars is going to start, bringing in Loki, seeing what they're going to do with Kang the Conqueror. Again, this is going to be a way to introduce Fantastic Four. And I think Fantastic Four is supposed to be set in like 1965. If you guys saw that little cover thing that they released. So this is going to be a whole new thing, man. I think by July, we'll definitely get a vision of what Phase 5. Man, they may end Phase 5 and just jump into Phase 6 real quick and just start something new because Phase 5 was just a mixture, just cluster of nonsensical, stupid shit. So I'm sorry, MCU, but we're just so confused right now. And then we're going to have a whole bunch of the DCU stuff dropping at the same time. So this is like a clean slate for everybody. Everybody put their bad projects out. Let's start fresh and let's see who can put out some good projects. We're gonna start putting y'all on the same levels now, man. You got James Gunn over here now, and we got Phase 6 on the way. So we got some work to do on both sides, and I'm hoping that we get it done. I'm excited to see what happens. Another trailer that came out during the Super Bowl, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, May 10th, 2024. So this looked kind of epic as well. You know what I'm saying? Planet of the Apes, I'm not the biggest, super fan, like the older ones I didn't really watch. I watched the first, The Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I saw the second one as well. The second one I liked a little bit less than the first one. The second one is, it was cool. And the third one, it seems like it's going to be interesting. It's like supposed to be taken like 300 years after Caesar's rise, after, the apes started talking and shit. And after, the world was at war between humans and apes. And now the apes are completely taken over and got humans as slaves. You know what I'm saying? And then they're talking in fluent English. They can talk way better than Caesar now. Shit looks incredible. We got one of the witches from The Witcher, one of the mages from The Witcher is in this as the main girl who looks like she's going to be like one of the more advanced humans that is actually going to partner with a chimpanzee to actually try to get humans to live together in harmony again. Because the apes are actually ruling the world like they did back in the olden Planet of the Apes, and the humans are the slaves. So we're gonna see how that is. Again, a lot of the other ones are really well received. So we're gonna see how this one gets received as well, and I'm excited for it, man. 2024, we got some good stuff coming out, and then this last one, man, we didn't get the trailer necessarily, but we got a whole bunch of like images. I think we got a couple of informational pieces about what Xmen 97 is going to be. I think it's going to be a 10 episode series, a continuation of the old Xmen cartoon. We saw the reworkings and the new adaptations of the characters. I think Bishop is going to be in the main team this time, which is actually really pretty cool addition. You got the old ones to the main stalwarts from the cartoon: Jubilee, Gambit, Wolverine, Beast, Jean Grey, Cyclops, and Storm. But there's and Morph too. But there's one more character. I'm not too sure exactly who it was, but there's one other character that's on the cover too. But I'm really excited to see that, man. I've been rewatching the episodes. Everything in there is going to be canon as well. So I'm really excited to see what they do in there, see what they're going to adapt to the MCU with Logan and Wolverine being introduced as well. I'm really excited to see how it all plays out. So those three trailers in particular, I was really excited to see. I know they have one about Twister, remake of Twister coming out as well. A lot of good trailers coming out. They put out there for the Super Bowl, but those three in particular stood out to me. So I hope you guys are excited about those as I am. Again, that was Deadpool and Wolverine, July 26th, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, May 10th, and then you have Xmen 97 on May 20th. And then lastly here, we were going to do it today, but I'm just going to preview it today. We are doing a tournament. Another tournament's coming up. I know we did last time. Anime main characters, anime secondary characters, battled it out to see who was number one in those. We had One Punch Man, and then we had, who do we have win the secondary tournament? Who was the secondary character winner? I don't exactly remember, but we battled it out, 16 characters, and it all came down to one. We saw who won. Me and Ariel, or AKA, excuse me, kind of debated it out and see who we thought would move on. We're trying to get at least 3 people for this one, but we're doing villains this time. We're doing 16 villains, all from different aspects of the villainry. You know what I'm saying? We have cartoons, we're gonna do anime, we're gonna do movies, and we're gonna do TV shows. So all 4, we're going to take 4 from each of those and battle them out against each other to see who was the ultimate villain and who was the best villain or the strongest villain out of all 16 of those. So be ready for that. Me, AKA, and probably one more person, maybe even 2. Who knows? We're going to try to get that going. And yeah, and that'll be it, man. I'm excited for that, man. We're just trying to squeeze in more content, different things. Again, you guys probably don't want to see me talking to myself all the time. Last 2 episodes, I think we did have guests. I think last episode was, oh, no. I just think the one before last with AKA was the last guest. We were supposed to have Damo on to talk some stuff too, but he didn't have time for that. Busy couple of months for him, man. He's getting married. Shouts out to him and Honey. It's going to be exciting. We're going to be all up in that thing. Vegas next month, and the wedding next month as well. So exciting times for all that, but I guess we're to the end of the podcast. It's Saturday, man. Y'all enjoy Saturday. Last week the pod came out on Sunday. I promise I'm gonna get back to Fridays. I do promise y'all that. It's just, again, I'll be busy, man. I'm just trying to think about topics to bring to y'all, what's worth bringing, and I gotta do my research on that topic if I don't really know about it. So it takes a little time for me to come up with all this, and then trying to coordinate people to be in the tournaments and actually want to come on and then send them. No excuses. I'm not excusing nothing. I always come up with an excuse to say to y'all, but for real. Next week's episode, the tournament, I'm gonna try to get to y'all by Friday. I have a holiday this Monday, so I have some extra time to plan some stuff and maybe put some stuff on wax for y'all as well. Watch out for the promo videos for last pod, episode 196. Video just dropped as well. We'll get the video up for episode 197 as soon as possible. AKA is doing what he can to get everything up for y'all. So again, thank y'all. Show him some love in his on his Insta, Akio Young on the Instagram. Show some love over there. And this is the end of the podcast where I like to let them know where you can find me at. It's your boy Patrick _Lydell. on the Snapchat, SAC_Lydell on the Instagram. If you're looking for me on TikTok, it's under Best of Bias Podcast. If you're looking for the Best of Bias Podcast on YouTube, just type that in and you'll find it. Like, subscribe, tell everybody about the videos. AK does a wonderful job all the time putting those together, making that viewing possible for y'all. So if you don't want to listen only on audio, you can also watch that shit as well. What else we got? Let's see what else we got. Also merch wise, just hit me up on any of those places I just talked about. Hats, bucket hats, dad hats, beanies, all of it. We got it dripping like water. You know what I'm saying? Shout out New York Way. Shout out Beautiful Struggle, all the other family brands we have in this wonderful family. Shout out to them, support all of them. Shout out Naya, shout out Ashwa, shout out my mom, of course. But yeah, shout out everybody, man. Shout out everybody showing love out here. Shout out Damo too. Shout out Damo and his POV. Shout out my homie Paul for all the info on the tech, you know what I'm saying? And holla at Paul too, young Amick, you know what I'm saying? He's looking for a lovely lady out there. If you got a good 401k, holla at him because he's trying to make a baby. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just playing. But yeah, it's your boy. Let's see. New podcast coming out next week. Yeah, keep coming back, man. I'm sorry about the tardiness again. I'm just rambling at this point, trying to find something to tell y'all. But hey, it's the Best of Bias Podcast. Happy Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, love somebody this week. Go love somebody. Go get some love. You know what I'm saying? It's all about positivity and all about the way you end your day. It's not about the way you started because, you know, it could be stressful when you wake up in the morning. Everybody, you know, you blessed to wake up in the morning, but it's hard to wake up in the morning at times. But as long as you end your day with positivity and love and keep love in your heart, it will always find its way in. I'm just kidding. I stole that from K's Jewelers. I don't want to finish it because I don't want y'all to call me out. But it's the Best of Bias Podcast. Go and join that Saturday, man. You can tell I ain't got nothing else to say. It's the Best of Bias Podcast. Where that theme song at? It's right here.
It's the best of bias. You need the earful, you should try us. From pop culture to the movies to Unitas. It's the best of bias. Best of bias, yeah. It's the best of bias.